What's going on YouTube? It's Sauce back again with another video. And today is week 3 of SPS versus the What You Doing Step Bros and Coach McNutt. We took home a beautiful victory, beautiful 4-0 win last week, improving us to 2-0 plus 10 and putting us in first place in the league. And yeah, despite the Slow Bros being 0-2, this is actually McNutt's first game. I pinged my old opponent about 15 times in the week, got 0 responses, and it's not like he was invisible all week. Like, I've spotted him online multiple times. So he got booted. McNutt got brought in on Monday, which is today, like week 4 Monday. But we decided to play because I was not happy. Well, I was happy with my forfeit win, but I wanted to get some content out of it as well as, get some of my mom's kills. I want to produce a banger video for you guys. I didn't think it'd be that fun, if it was just a replay of a mock. So I decided to play this, knowing that I could lose, because I thought it'd make for some good content. Now, the team is scary, yes it is, but it's not without its flaws. There are 4 fairy types on this team. It's Hail, with the only remover being Regieleki. That being said, Iron Valiant, Excalibur, Mew, Rillaboom are all horrifying. They all can just come in and win. I always like to start building with a cleaner and a breaker, right? I like to start building with those in mind, and I'll touch on those when I'm done with this slide. But yeah. Additionally, Slowbro and Charizard and Regieleki are the steel resists. Charizard's 4 times weak to rocks. It's not cohesive, right? That being said, Terra Mew, Terra Rillaboom have got to be 2 of the best captains in SPS, and they could just take over a game. So, as I mentioned, cleaner and a breaker. Well, I actually found 2 breakers for this week, the first one being Choice Specs Talonflame. Even though Talonflame has like 74 special attack, I felt as if Choice Specs Flamethrowers, Overheats, and Hurricanes had very few switch-ins, especially if Slowking or Charizard didn't come, then I can just fire off Flamethrowers and Overheats. We're running max special attack, enough speed to outspeed Iron Valiant, so if he's like Choice Specs, Choice Band, or just doesn't have this booster anymore, I can still come in and kill it. And then the rest is just dumped into HP. This thing goes crazy. Especially if like a Alolan Ninetales comes, like Rillaboom comes, he just, like, it's not and Tinkaton. Those are 3 good mons that are weak to fire, and like I can very easily flamethrower spam if there's no Slowbro. Slowbro is actually what I'm most worried about. It stops a couple of the mons that I have built. In fact, it stops like all of them. So I'm relying on some unorthodox ways to beat it. I'm praying it just doesn't come. I have Flame Body because if Rillaboom or Bax want to use contact moves versus me, then I want the chance to burn. Gale Wings was fine, but I wasn't going to be at full health that long anyways. I felt like it was more niche than Flame Body this week. And obviously U-turn to pivot out if I need to. If I see a Slowking, I'm going to be spamming U-turn. Next up, we have our cleaner, which is Choice Scarf Iron Crown this week. Could have ran booster speed, but I like the fact that Choice Scarf allows us to constantly come in on Excalibur if it wants to Swords Dance. It allows us to outspeed Regieleki all the time, or should, because I don't think you need that much speed. If it's not Booster Energy Valiant or Scarf, I guess I can come in on that. I just felt like Choice Scarf was so incredibly better than Booster Speed. Like, I knew this was gonna be the Scarf Crown week. This thing averaged 3 kills in mocks. Probably had 3 or 4 mocks. Yeah, it's just here to click Volt Switch and Tachyon Cutter. And he can't really do anything about it. Psychic is there for, like, Regieleki. And Steel Beam is sort of a way to get out of a pickle. You know, if Mew sets up a lot, I could just Terra Steel Beam it. Or if I need huge damage on Slowking to kill it, etc., etc. Yeah, this thing just comes in, it picks up kills. Or at least forces pressure. I'm going to try to momentum spam into it, I think. Between this and Talonflame, it kind of just wrecks his entire team. Like, what is actually switching in to a Terra Steel Tachyon Cutter and living 2 of them? The answer is Slowbro, and that's it. Charizard can, but doesn't love to. And it can't do it repeatedly. So, I needed a way to beat Slowking as well as break this entire team. So, I opted for Choice Specs, Raging Bolt, just standard, ladder EV spreads. Thunderbolt, Dragon Pulse, Volt Switch, Thunderclap. Volt Switch is what I'm going to be clicking 99% of the time. He has no ground type, so I'm able just to pivot out again and again, hopefully getting in Talonflame or Iron Crown, and able just to put him in an infinite loop of switching out while I gain momentum. Like, I want to out offense this Hail team. Like, I want this game to be done in 20 turns or less. That's the goal. Like, it's going to be shots fired. I think Raging Bolt's a perfect example of how I can do it. Because, if he sets up with, like, I don't even know, Booster Speed Val, Excalibur even, it gets Dragon Dances off, Charizard Dragon Dances off, even stuff like Agility Mew, Choice Specs Thunderclap is able to come in and click. When you think of Choice Spec sets for Raging Bolt, you don't typically think of Thunderclap. So, I don't absolutely hate it. But yes, things going to be clicking in top 3 moves more often than not. And this is the original breaker I thought of when I saw Iron Crown being a cleaner. But now I have 2 breakers, a cleaner. I felt like I had to go less offensive for now. I'm bringing a Pokemon off the bench. It's Glamora's debut week, except for despite Hazards looking amazing here, I opted for an Assault Vest set. Mew, Slowking, and what's the last one? Mew, Slowking, Regieleki are all very scary, as well as Valiant if it's special, barring no psychic move. Hopefully, this thing just tanks a lot and does a lot of damage back. Rocking 248 HP, mainly a lot of defense EVs and bold, and then the special attack and Spadef get me to 300 and 250 or something like that, respectfully. I just like hitting numbers like that with Assault Vest, even if it costs a few more EVs. Toxic Debris there because he has no poison type, so if I'm able to come in on something like, I don't know, Rillaboom U-turn. He doesn't have a ton of physical attackers, but if he's like Physical Val, I can come in, Sponge Hit, take, or put up spikes, and then Sludge Bomb. Like, it's just better than Corrosion here. Corrosion's pretty useless here. Yeah, this thing just sponges a lot. It's gonna be a bulky pivot for the week, even though it doesn't specifically pivot. I'm gonna throw it in to dangerous scenarios. It's gonna take it, and I'm gonna switch it back out. Right, this is gonna be my wall for the week. I'm just glad it gets to make her debut. I've been thinking about bringing her for a long time, and now I finally get the chance to, and I think that's gonna pay off. Next up, we have Hisuian Sneasel, rockin' max attack, pretty much max speed, the rest in SPDF. Sword Stance, Fleeing, Gunk Shot, Close Combat. Now, his only way of really stopping choice band sets was the Slowking. So instead of doing that, I decided to bring Sword Stance, Fling, Big Nugget and get rid of it that way. It also is really good for the Mew if it does not Terra. And then Gunk Shot Close Combat just went absolutely stupid versus his entire team in testing. And then if I fling my Big Nugget and get hit by a physical attack, I actually gained their item. That's how Pickpocket works. It happened in a mock. I flung my Big Nugget, then Rillaboom came in, clicked something, and I stole its choice band. So it's very niche, but the possibility for it to work feels so good that I had to bring it. It's just a really good late game cleaner if Val is not there. Pretty much Val and I guess Regieleki, if it's chipped, are the only things that like coming in on this after I kill something, like that come in revenge, if that makes sense. This, for those who don't know, Fling Big Nugget is a 130 base power dark move. Just want to put that out there. But yeah, I think it's gonna perform. I think Hisuian Sneasel's already been one of the best one-pointers I've ever used, and I've used it for one game and a couple mocks. The Mon is him. Finally, we have Meowscarada coming Choice Scarf for the third straight week, I believe. Max attack, pretty much the same spread as the Hisuian Sneasel, except for 48 in HP instead of SPDF. Protein this week, Brick Break, Play Rough, U-Turn, Knockoff. Flower Trick just felt really bad this week, I'm not gonna lie. I want something other than Brick Break, but with Talonflame not being defog, I need something to deal with screens, because not only can Aurora Veil come, screens Regieleki can, and I was not trying to deal with that. Both had, fantastic matchups into me, and even though I would be turning myself into a fighting type, I don't absolutely hate it. Play Rough is there to just outspeed and kill the Valiant, as well as Bax. If we're just coming in after their booster speed or +1. U-Turn for momentum, it's just really good here, because if he's on Slowking or something, and he switches to Charizard, just momentum out. You should know that I love momentum by now, it's gotta be one of my favorite things in the game. And then finally, we have Knockoff because, well, it's Stab, and nothing likes to lose its item outside of Iron Val because he can just be Booster and negate it. Other than that, everything really, really, really likes its item. So even though I'm bringing Knockoff into 4 Fairy types, it's still going to hold its worth, and that's why it's the best move in the game. That was my Week 3 team versus McNutt. I want to give a huge shout out to Punpun, Dax, and Dib for the mocks, as well as Wish, among others, for helping me prep this week. And yeah, let's get into the battle. Alright, so here's the battle. Week 3 versus McNutt, also known as the Nutman. No pause. So Sunsun and Red, 2 of the mods, actually Sunsun's the owner of SPS, decided to let me replay my Week 3. Or not replay because I didn't play it before, but actually play my Week 3 if I wanted to. As I'm sure you're already aware, I pinged my opponent probably 15 plus times and got no response. You love to see it. So the replacement coach took over yesterday, and I played him last night because he agreed to it. We scheduled it. A super friendly guy, and I'm just lucky that we are able to play because Iron Crown probably averaged 3 kills in the 4 mocks that I did. It's Iron Crown food, this team is. Now I know I said leading Iron Crown if I see, or no matter what, but that was mainly if I saw a little Ninetales. I think Meow leads so well into Regieleki, Rillaboom, Mew, Tinkaton, all of which I can see leading, and is probably my best lead here. Could expect a Glamora lead, as he does lead Mew onto my Meowscarada, so I have the freest U-turn of my life. Tinkaton comes in, takes 8%, but does reveal that he has Rocky Helmet. So I have one play and one play only, go on Talonflame and kill Flamethrower because he has 0 switch-ins. Somehow lives on 3 and puts up rocks, which is not good. So Bax comes in, takes 48. From the calculations I did, this either had a little bit of HP investment or I got a low roll, but I figured taking my chances that was a low roll or I get the burn or a crit was better than letting this thing, switching out and letting this thing get a potential Dragon Dance off. Because I have Iron Crown and Meow in the back that can clean up if this thing gets to +1. So Ice Flamethrower again, get it on 1. Unfortunately, it lives as he just Glaive Rushes me. So I go into Iron Crown to pick this thing off. Volt Switch if he wants to save this. But yeah, then I just go into my Raging Bolt because I know he's got like the best matchup here. Well, actually it's not true, but I didn't want to let something like Mew or Regieleki in. So I opted for Raging Bolt. Interested that he did not go Tinkaton or Iron Valiant. Yeah, he's Terrafire, but I figure a high horsepower is coming, which I live, and then reveals that he's offensive, meaning I kill back. I'm perfectly happy taking that trade. Terrifying Rillaboom was absolutely terrifying for my team to deal with, so I'm fine trading Raging Bolt with that Rillaboom. Goes into Tinkaton. I could Thunder. Actually, no, I couldn't because I'm Specs. I'm trolling. I go into Sneasel in case he wants to knock off or something. I actually did expect the knockoff, but just play roughs. Puts me in a weird position. I have a 50-50 here, but I figured he's going to not keep Tink and let die to a close combat, and then I don't want to reveal Fleeing unless I'm out in front of Mew. But he goes Iron Valiant, shows nice booster speed. I close combat, do 31. At this point, I'm fully planning on sacking my, Sneasel, because Raging Bolt can still do a little bit. In my opinion, in my eyes, it can Thunderclap if it has to, and that's the really big thing, because you don't really see Specs Thunderclap sets, so I think it could catch him off guard. Basically, I just want to sack this, or at least scout for Psychic, because my AV Glamora kinda eats this, but I don't know if he's physical, special, if he's got Psychic, or what. So I stay in. As he Aura Spheres, probably reading the Glamora, or even the Iron Crown. I don't really know what else to click it for. But I fire off a gunk shot, hit, and we take out the biggest threat on his team. He goes into Regieleki. At this point, I want to save my Sneasel because it outspeeds Tinkaton, and outspeeds Mew and can at least Flink. I think I should have sacked Raging Bolt here, but I was scared of screens. So I decided to go into my Glamora, which takes a lot of damage, which is unfortunate. I'm trying to bail out a Psychic move and go into Meowscarada, at least scout what set he is. But he reveals Dragon Dance, and I know you can't face every new set in box, but I faced a lot of Calm Mind and Bulk Up and no Dragon Dances. This was astronomically scary for me, even though I have great positioning in terms of how many mons I have alive and how many stacks I have. But I'm at least faster, can knock off. See if he's lefties or whatnot, but he's Lumberry, so maybe U-turn would have been better. Scout for Drain Punch, sack like Raging Bolt or something. If I had to do it again, I think I would. I would go U-turn out into Raging Bolt to try Scout, and then click Knockoff, but, you know, I didn't play the cleanest game of my life, but I played a fairly good one. I only had a couple mistakes all throughout. I wanted to Terra Steel here, but I did not do enough to risk him being on Drain Punch, as well as being a fast variant of Mew. I didn't want to risk that, so he reveals that his best way of hitting me is Drain Punch, but Tachyon does too much for him to live another one after Drain Punch. So Iron Crown picks off another kill, and he also can't tell if I'm Scarf because I didn't outspeed him. But he just goes Registeel. I sack Sneasel here because I have a lot of things. Well, I have quote unquote a lot of things that outspeed Kill Tikaton. It's really just Raging Bolt, but I can Thunderclap as well as Glim. If he does not have Gigaton Hammer, Glim also kills. My sack to reveals a Supercell Slam, which is honestly pretty hype. But my calcs say that Glim lives most of the time, and I do. Glim lives. Fires back with Earth Power. I'll be real with you, I was 100% not expecting this to kill. I wanted to click Earth Power, and then hopefully try Outspeed with Iron Crown and pick off the last two. But I am astronomically happy that Earth Power killed, meaning he was offensive. Because now the game gets easy, I just sack Glib and go Crown, and Crown gets the last kill. Crown ended up getting three kills. Now 2 out of 3 of them were, I wouldn't say cheap, but he picked off the kills, like he quote unquote stole them. Which, I mean, happens in Mons. This Mon was made to clean up in this match, so I'm not complaining. You know what I mean? Iron Crown is now 8-0 in 3 games, and somehow is 4th in MVP voting. Like, that does not make sense to me. But Iron Crown agenda has worked pretty well so far, and I'm hoping the rest of the season will go the same. Next week, we face my boy Wish and the Lothric Zoroarks. I don't know. I'm not Canadian. That being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. J Sauce out.